Hey coaches, it's Coach Mark here from coachestrainingroom.com, and this is Soccer Coaches University month 3. The focus of this session today is movement and field usage, particularly in the attacking sense. So we're looking at developing play, building an attack, and creating goal scoring opportunities. So the session itself is moving in the same form that we've done previously, working under limited pressure and building the pressure as we go. So we're actually going to introduce some movement ideas here. Finding space. It's a problem that we all seem to come across as coaches and as players, is finding space on the field. So the first session we have here is designed just to focus on actually finding space, looking at the field and seeing how play develops. For this example, 6 sections of a field and 3 defenders. We've got 4 players who are going to be moving around the field to available spaces. So what we're looking to do here as the play develops is the defenders are going to move into any area. There could be players there, there might not be players around. Defenders are going to move and they're going to force the attackers to move and find space. The idea is when coach calls time on the game, you're going to be one of those players in an available space. So that ideally you don't want to have a defender in your area. Now, an interesting thing here is you're going to realize quickly that you might not have to move a great deal to actually find the space on the field. If you're watching the play and you're clever about this, the space might become available just by standing still. So a defender's going to move, they're going to come and find your space. If you're taking a quick step to the side or a step into an available section for that moment, can you then turn back? Is that space going to become available again quickly? It's about watching the field, watching play develop. If you want to progress this activity, I suggest bringing a ball into this later on, but that would be a later incorporation. What I really want my players focusing on at this point is that space, the field awareness, and watching the play develop. So once we've got the warm-up out of the way with, I'm going to take it straight into a game that's going to force my attacking players to actually find some space on the field. So I'm going to really load this in the attacker's favour. What we've got is a wide field starting playing in the middle, and I've got 4 pop-up goals, 2 at either end. My attackers can score into any goal. Focus here is creativity, making sure that you're using the space available. Really stress the turns and trickery here, because there's 1 defender, there's 2 attackers, and there's 4 goals. So really, we should be seeing a high success rate from the attackers. If you want to condition this, I've put some progressions at the end there that we can see. You can't score in the same goal twice in a row, or you couldn't score on the same side twice in a row. Just to add a little twist to this, give the defender a bit more of a chance to actually do something here, and just to add a bit of pressure to our attackers. So we'll just watch this one through. What you're going to find yourself doing is drawing the defender in the moment that you commit towards a goal, and that's a really important technique there, just for the from an attacking perspective, that we're really able to commit those players one way before turning back a different way. Idea here is that we're going to see it in a game. You might fake a cross, for example. If you're faking the cross and you're turning back infield, you've committed the defender, and suddenly a little bit more space has opened up to yourself. Progressing this further, we're actually taking it into a 2v2 now. So the same game rules apply, it's just an even number of players. This should still technically be weighted in the attacker's advantage because there's more scoring opportunities. And as you can see it play out there, we're looking for, again, that same creativity, committing defenders one way before drawing the play back the other way, giving yourself plenty of time on the ball, and also using that field to its full, because it is quite a large field. It's going to be tough on the players here, but what I really want to see is the creativity. You might want to set time limits within this there so that the players aren't on the field for too long. They're committing defenders quickly, taking opportunities as they come, and being really clever and creative about this, and making sure that the field is used to its capacity. Rounding this off into a small-sided game, I'll just pause that for a second. What we've done is we've flipped this on its head completely here. So general game rules would imply that the goals are at either end. What we're doing here is we've got the goals back to back so that we're automatically forcing players to use the field. If I'm the red team at this point, I'm attacking the blue goal this side. So I actually have to move myself around my goal, and I'm going to have to completely move to the other end of the field now and start creating opportunities down that side. This is what I'm trying to do here is to get my team to attack as a complete unit, move forward, move together, create an opportunity and score a goal. Now this is a very, very fluid game. So once the Reds have scored, Blues are able to play immediately. And what I want to see is the Blues attacking nice and quick. Again, as a unit, quick counter-attacking, exploiting the space and taking the opportunity when it becomes available. This is a really, really interesting one, just to completely flip the rules of the game on its head. Well, without changing it too much, the game rules are still the same, but the understanding changes completely. What we have to do here is really, really focus on our positioning, on our field awareness, and where we're moving to. And if we just consider the alternate sessions here for this one, the key differences here for the initial session, what we're looking at here is changing the focus. Now the players are actually attempting to move past a player downfield, so we're still looking at complete players without a ball. We're just taking it back to basics, focusing on the actual field positioning here, where I want to be, where's the space, how can I get there, where is the space becoming available, and reacting quickly when we find it. First condition here in the second game, very, very similar structure to the first one here, but we've actually removed 2 of the goals. Now that's going to give the attackers are really going to have to concentrate. I've actually put larger goals in here because we've also put a dividing line in so that the players are having to shoot when they're in field. This is going to create a greater emphasis on actually using the field space to commit the defender before moving back perhaps the other way, because you're going to need more time on the ball to focus on an accurate shot. So again, key differences here, scoring opportunities are limited. There's a greater emphasis on the accuracy, and players must allow more space on the field to give them more time on the ball to play that accurate shot. Now, stepping this up further still, this, technically speaking, would be a progression of the 2v2. We're adding some channels in here, okay? So this is going to increase the difficulty. We've also increased the number of players on the field. So we're still weighting this in favour of the attackers. It's a 3v2. If I made this a 2v2 and had the channels there, what I'm actually doing is probably giving the defenders a chance to double up on the player who's in field, because the idea of this is the 2 channeled areas are complete. They're a safe zone for players to go in and play completely unopposed. So I'm actually encouraging players to get wide here, stretch the play, create some width and take opportunities when they come available. Adding that extra player just gives them the chance to exploit that space when it becomes available. So you might want to start off by actually pausing the game at some points here, just so that players can see the space. Really stress the importance then of identifying the space, the opportunities, and when to play that pass, where to play the pass, and when to exploit those opportunities. And finally, the small-sided game here. Again, emphasis still as was before, movement and field usage. The rules before, the goals were back-to-back, and we're having to force ourselves to move as a unit. Here, I'm going back to the simple game format. So I've got a pretty large field with a coned line down the middle. Now, normal game rules apply, but to actually score a goal and to have it count, all of your teammates must be supporting you in the attacking half of the field. So again, in the whole idea of moving as a unit, making sure that we're actually being part of a team, whether or not we have the ball, we're making sure that every single player has a duty to do something to support in attack, even if you don't have the ball. So there'll be no ball watching, no standing around. You have to join in with the attack. So again, for an attacking perspective, I'm moving as a unit. I'm making sure I'm supporting in attack, just in case we need to recycle possession, and also to make sure the goal counts. So stress here is to attack and defend as a unit. If you have any further questions on any of these, or you need any elaboration or any separate session ideas, feel free to email us at info@coachestrainingroom.com. Thanks for listening.